Rule 7, risk of collision. There are 7 letters in the word collide, and that's how I remember Rule 7, risk of collision. Every vessel shall use all available means appropriate to the prevailing circumstances and conditions to determine if risk of collision exists. All ships at all times need to use all available means: lookouts, radars, bridge to bridge, AIS, all available means to determine if risk of collision exists. And what is the risk of collision? I ask that all the time on the Officer of the Deck boards. In your own words, define to me what is risk of collision. And really, I just wanted some sort of thought that expressed the fact that there's a chance we could collide. There's a chance that there will be an accident, which leads to the first assumption of the rules. If there is any doubt, such risk shall be deemed to exist. Many of the rules state the fact that there may be doubt. They understand that there's a psychology behind making a decision, doubting yourself, having the confidence to take action. But if there is a doubt in your mind, such risk, the risk of collision, the chance of an accident, you have to assume the worst. You have to take all precaution. You need to err on the side of caution. So we spoke about in Rule 6, the proper use of radar equipment. If fitted and operational, it needs to be used properly, including long-range scanning to obtain early warning of risk of collision. And radar plotting, or we refer to that as ARPA, or equivalent systematic observation of detected objects. Now, these should be readily apparent to the watchstanders on the bridge. You should have MO boards down in combat. You should have MO boards on the bridge, and you should train your watchstanders on how to use them. If you yourself feel somewhat rusty on MO boards, please let us know. We don't have a specific lesson on MO boards, but happy to walk through with you CPA MO boards, stationing MO boards, or collision avoidance MO boards. So long-range scanning, definitely make sure that you have one radar set out to a longer scale than another. I had a 73 and a 67 on the bridge of McFall. We would have one at about 24, maybe 48 nautical miles if we were really out to sea, crossing the Atlantic. And then one would be closer in, probably 12, or if we really needed to zoom in, we might zoom to 6. Part Charlie tells you that assumptions shall not be made on the basis of scanty information, especially scanty radar information. So other scanty information could come from AIS, but particularly scanty radar information. The IMO has a standard for ARPA. The first is steady state tracking that you need to know. Steady state tracking occurs if you are steady on your course and speed and the other vessel that you've acquired on radar is steady on their course and speed. The standard for the equipment is that it should take 1 minute to give the contact's course and speed. If you're making incremental course changes or speed changes, that 1 minute is going to restart every time that you steady up again. The ARPA requires 3 minutes, though, for information to make a decision, meaning CPA information is provided to you. So it's not an instantaneous thing when you acquire a contact on radar. You need to be steady on your course and speed and give the radar time to provide you information rather than making a hasty decision. And finally, in part delta of this rule, it says in determining if risk of collision exists, the following considerations shall be among those taken into account. So including these. Risk of collision shall be deemed to exist if the compass bearing of an approaching vessel does not appreciably change. We refer to this very commonly as CBDR, constant bearing decreasing range. That contact on your port bow bearing 330 relative has maintained that same bearing. Now there are 6 nautical miles, 5 nautical miles, 4 nautical miles, 3 nautical miles. You should have a sense of unease. You should deem risk of collision to exist because that compass bearing has not changed. It was a constant bearing. However, risk of collision still may exist even when an appreciable bearing change And an appreciable bearing change is when something is flying down the starboard or the port beam. Like you can say that, wow, we have strong left bearing drift on this vessel, or strong right bearing drift. You can appreciate the difference. You can say that, oh, 040 became 050. That bearing changed, and it did not remain constant. So even if it's changing, even when that's evident, risk of collision may still exist if when approaching a very large vessel or a tow, or when approaching a vessel at a very close range. We consistently approach vessels at close range. Underway replenishment detail is very close. All right, so even when there's an appreciable bearing change, risk of collision still might exist. This is a very important rule that it's worth having training as a division, as a navigation division, but also training in the wardroom, teaching the junior officers how to evaluate risk of collision, what this rule really means. Because when you ask them on an OOD board, what is risk of collision? And all they can tell you is CBDR, there's so much more to this rule. This rule talks about radar. This talks about what sort of thing we're approaching, if it's a tow or a very large vessel. It's asking you about what to do if there's doubt. It's much more than just CBDR. Because the caveat to a bearing changing means that there may be circumstances when collision is still a chance. So if you haven't met your captain yet, or if you haven't read your captain's standing orders, this is definitely something that you want to get into. You want to read it with a close eye, especially regarding contact reports, because the range at which, or the time interval required by the captain for the officer of the deck to report a contact will give you an insight to what the captain sees as a risk of collision. You're going to own those, and if your captain changes over, if there's a change of command, you're going to have to get it signed within 90 days, okay? So make sure that you understand and can get behind your captain's opinion, and that you understand your captain's mindset, because you have to train to it, you have to respect it, and it will make your job a lot easier if you can be in sync with your captain. And I don't just mean roll over and accept all opinions, but have mature and healthy discussions about what rules of the road mean to him or her.